What's up, guys? Welcome to the Zero's What's Happening at the Shop 5th video. I think we actually have the full title name down now, so it might be consistent from week to week. It's been a little bit since we brought you a video. The last one was the shirt I'm wearing, Ruffians. Big thanks again to those guys. We had an amazing time at their rally. This week we are kind of getting back to normal shop stuff. We had Brian stop by. Brian is our scout. He was from Columbus, now lives in Dayton where he's going to school. He is one of our out and about zeros. He's going to show you how to tune a VM20 today on a Pook with a 45 or 44 millimeter Treats reed kit Especial, just 2-pedal reed block VM20. He'll get to that. The Vespa that Reno and Alexis built, I believe that was back in the 3rd video, is now up and running. We'll be getting to a little bit more tuning on that. It's running very well, but the carburetor needs to be dialed in, and we're going to be playing with some clutch springs and different belt combinations as we're going to be keeping the bike single speed. So that's where we're at right now. You can see a lot of riding. We are getting ready for our rally, which is August 25th through 27th. I hope that anyone watching this video will be here for it. It's going to be a ton of fun. You're going to get some sneak previews of the rally route, as well as just some other riding around town. There's a little bit of a segment last week. We went to one of our group members' pools because it was 100 degrees. It was too hot to ride the rally route. So that should be it. Maybe I'll add a little bit more at the end, but by then you'll know what goes on. So until then, subscribe, tell us what you want to see, all the other fun stuff. We are kind of getting the hang of this. So let's know how we're doing. Enjoy the video.
Here we have a lovely Honda Express SR with, I don't know, some Hobbit 60cc kit on it, big old 21 PHPG MLM intake. Didn't really like Hack & Weld bi-turbo on the stock headers, so this is getting a Ghost circuit. And to do that though, we gotta drop off this lovely center stand, which I just had the biggest rush of my life cutting that off with an angle grinder. So we gotta have a round 2 here, so tune in shortly once this is mounted up. Well, tuning in again. Had to take an angle grinder because of course those bolts wouldn't come off the kickstand.
Are both keys on?
Both keys?
Started.
Look at how dumb it looks.
Is the apple still there? Yeah.
No spurs.
Yeah?
Woo!
I don't know if it's any faster, but.
Pop the joke.
Hello, I'm Brian. I'm a member of the Zeros. I've got here Sears Free Spirit with a bad intake that I'm swapping out, but it is nice enough to grace me up. Got the old one here. Not too hot. It's pretty beat up. Not getting full flow into the cylinder. We're opening VM20 and Rouser on the shop.
We're swapping on a VM20, 20 millimeter intake, and carbon fiber reeds.
I hope we've got 44 miles an hour out of it before, and I'm hoping that
There we go. Give it a little brap. Sounds a little better, huh? There we go. So what'd you wind up at in your main jet?
I got 45.
What was your main jet? What did we wind up jetting at?
175.
Needles right in the middle. It has a 17.5 idle jet in that card. Yeah.
Brand new intake.
Done.
On today's episode of the Zeros Build Thing, so we're working on the, am I allowed to say what it is? This is our rapid bike. It's a 50 Airsoft, AB7, 1515 shock. It's pretty clean. It's a little dusty right now, but it'll clean up. NOS variator. Is that a G-Melic Fire? Is that what it is?
No. This
I don't know.
is some NOS circuit pipe that we found. Thanks to Joe Klein.
Some kind of circuit pipe. Leopardi, brand new Gazelles, dick grips. Yeah.
To add to what Jared said, we're just tuning it up right now. You guys were around for the last video. There's a Moby over there that I tuned with this pipe on. Hoping the same results. We rejet the car to a 78 for now. We'll see how that goes. We're gonna get outside. We just fired it up and realized that I forgot to put the exhaust gasket in.
Don't need it.
Silly things. So taking the pipe off right now. Next video should be it.
Andy, do you want to say what you just found?
It was a gas clutch.
What? Oh my god! What? Huh?
There's a lot. I couldn't get it to go faster than 26 before, and I'm pretty sure it still does 26.
Dad said it would do 35 to 40.
Doesn't really look like he's doing 35 to 40.
Doesn't really look like he's moving at all. Maybe a little bit. Dee 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 dee.
It's so quiet. We probably should have put some air in the tires. Look at Zell, it's fine.
Hey, Gazelles do not give a fuck about the rain.
How'd it go, Andy?
It's kind of slow.
Super slow.
Yeah, I did 30.
Alright, well, we put some air in the tires and wired the lights up and fixed the throttle cable a little bit. Well, all the way, probably. Working.
Alright guys, so I built this bike yesterday and forgot to record everything. I'm using a 55cc DR kit on a brass bushing V1 bottom end. Jared helped me build this. There's a BRN clutch in there, which I'll show you guys pictures of later. Actually, you're going to see pictures of today. This is a Melosi 2-bad circuit from a Vespa Chow. So this bike started and it ran very well, but the problem is that we had to start it with a drill because the clutch is not being engaged properly, the starter arms. So I'm going to teach you guys how to take apart a V1 clutch and how to repair the starter arms, because usually those leaf arms are actually what goes bad. It's very rarely the starting plate or any other part. It's mostly bad. Sometimes the needle bearing goes bad, or the little ball bearing on the starter plate, but that's kind of rare. So that's what we're going to be learning tonight on my end of things. Jared's going to show you guys how to disassemble an A3 transmission, because that one is most likely
Boned.
absolutely boned. So it's Saturday night. We're going to spend the night at the shop. Normally, I recommend that when you're working on a bike, don't drink, because when you drink and work on a bike, you make terrible, stupid mistakes and cause yourself headaches. Just,
But we're gonna do it anyways.
but we've already got started. So we're gonna see how the night goes, and if we fix this bike properly. Cheers! All right, guys. So I have drained the transmission fluid. Just in case you don't know how to do that, there is a fill screw at the bottom. It's that little guy down there. You unplug that, and the transmission fluid comes out. This is the fill at the top. So you want to loosen that when you do it, and it'll let the air run through quickly, and it'll drain all the fluid out. So next step is you need to loosen your clutch cable. There's a couple different ways to do it. You can just take this bolt off right here. This is an 8, and then pull the cable through.
It's a nut.
It's a nut. Sorry. But then you've got to be able to get this back through it. So your alternate option is to unhook it at the top. This happens to be using some old hoop controls. So you can see how that's held in there. It's a much easier option. So I'm just going to loosen that top. And then once that's done, you're going to take the pedal off. These have cotter pins. Just take that off, pound it through. This comes off. And then we take all 6 to 8 of these bolts out, and this whole thing's going to come out. Once that comes out, we will be able to see the leaf springs, and that is how I'm going to teach you how to rebuild today. Because that's right now, getting to it is half the battle, but rebuilding the leaf springs is night and day on a bike starting or not. So we'll get to that. We've got the cable loosened, all the bolts are out. I did drain the transmission fluid earlier, but as you can see, there's still some coming out, so we're about to see what's wrong. So the trick of doing this is just make sure you pull evenly and pull it back, and then you got to get it past this nub. There we go. Okay, so these arms look pretty fucking good to me, but this is what we're going to be replacing. So as you can see, the starter clutch on here is in good shape. So we're going to take this apart. So as you can see, the 2 leaf springs here, this is how they work stock. There's a long one in the back and a short one in the front. And then as you turn the arm, it pushes on the starter. So the inherent problem with this is that little, this nut thing,
Ball bearing thing,
pushes on this and eventually starts to wear a hole in it. And also the fact that this shorter arm keeps that from pressing. And the reason they do that stock is so that when the bike is running, this isn't riding on the bearing, because it'll eventually wear through and it'll ruin it. Like this one here. See how there's no ball anymore? It literally just breaks the thing. Or it becomes completely flat. It can go either way. A trick to negating that when you're running these is you can just take the springs out that are behind this. E50s run like this. It's just a different style. This runs a spring, so it pushes the stator or the starting plate back. E50s alternatively just let it sit and ride it out. And there you've seen a million E50s, everyone has. They seem to be fine. So if I'm running the stock springs, I leave that spring in, the stock leaf springs. When I modify these, which we're about to do, I get rid of the spring. So I'll walk you guys through that next. Beer and clutch. So, yeah, they do seem to sit further back than a stock clutch. Okay, so you got your long leaf spring. This has like a little, see how it's not quite straight. Throw in a vise, straighten it out. Then make yourself a trace. You can see how thin this metal is. This is the side of a 1950s stove. So if you have any of those laying around, they work very well. Trace it out, and we're gonna make 2 of these. As you can see, nothing on this is straight, so I'm gonna be cutting it up a little bit. Doesn't need to be big perfect. So.
and then we cut. Drill a hole. Safety first.
So we have new plates. Here's the stock. Remember, this one goes in the front. This one goes on the back. This nice long guy here. So, what we do when we remake these is drop everything first. Two, you see they're not perfect. They're actually incredibly poorly made. Nothing lines up very well. They'll work perfectly. Put a little bolt through there, and then we run two. So now we've got all this surface pushing, and that usually does the trick. If it doesn't do the trick, something else is wrong.
Well, we discovered that the BRN clutch sits slightly behind where a stock clutch would sit by about, I don't know, a millimeter or so.
Yeah, so a stock V1 clutch sits right about there. See how it sticks out a bit? Whereas you can see that the BRN clutch sits back further. And I believe that they did that on purpose because I think that they're using this different material in here as opposed to the tougher stock. That makes it lighter, it gives it a larger surface to catch. I think that they're trying to avoid getting in these gaps and tearing it to pieces.
Also, we can't take that clutch off because we don't know what tool that would require unless we could probably make one.
Yeah, everything is surmountable, but this one I don't want to surmount. So we're going to put those arms back in. I am going to run the starter plate with no spring. So like right now, like the things I'm doing, if this were a stock V1 clutch, this would be like desperation mode to make it work. But in this case, it's just something different, and we're all learning together right now.
I want to see how that clutch works.
Yeah, here we go.
Brand's here. Look at his earring.
Is this the Motobacane exhaust gaskets?
Andy said this is why it goddamn doesn't work.
Yeah, okay, I'm sure there's a, like if you did a pull start, but these whole things fucking move backwards and forwards. So when the starter plate pushes on it, no matter what, they just push back out of place.
Ah. It's not even French.
French.
Does BRN stand for baguette run now?
I believe so. Alright. Gave up on that BRN clutch. I'll make it work with something else. It's not giving up. I'm going to show you guys how to remove and install clutch springs on a V1 clutch. These are DR specific clutch springs. I have no idea what strength they are. But it doesn't matter. So, first you have to talk louder than Matt Brand. So, how's the volume over there, buddy? So you want to take like a rag or something and press it on the side. That helps. So you're pushing the clutch pads in, and you're not putting any stress on the clutch itself. Because you can taco this, and that's bad.
But tacos are good, but not then.
Not these tacos. So you can get a pick, something like that. Just get underneath the spring. It's pretty easy to pull off. Push it away from you. It goes right off, comes right off. And now the important thing is to leave it in here. If I were to take this out and flip it over, the other spring, would pull everything out. So you take one out, take one of your clutch springy guys, put them in there, and then you grab a straight pick like that, put it through.
Stab yourself.
Yeah, that helps too. And just guide it into place. So it's not quite gonna fit right. So at this point you want to like cover it and just kind of work it in there. And because you want it covered because it can go flying. And I like my
straight into my eyeball. So
yeah, so like Joe said. So now this one's installed. Flip it over. Tighten it up, take your pick again, grab your other clutch spring, make sure that guy's tight. Second one's always tougher. Pull it out. Next clutch spring, put it in place. Actually, we're gonna do that the other way. Straight pick.
best grips. Best grips. Best grips. Best grips. Worst grips ever. Worst grips. Never buy them. They're terrible. This is currently boned. Fuck you.
We got a Tomos. This is
Sorry, he's
835.
gotta go home.
Gonna put this sick boss pipe on here. Should be doing like 40
Boss forever.
minimal.
So yeah, he's doing a derby.
Yeah, it's a homemade pipe. The last one from Treats.
But chimney it.
I should have just got a circuit, but I got this instead. So
Yeah, it was supposed to be mine, so he got the last one. It's fine.
you want me to just dent the header?
Might as well.
Flavors, you gotta be salty, dude.
Alright, so this is Ryan. You've probably met him if you're interneting. We're gonna do a plug chop on this to see what the jetting situation is like. We're gonna put a brand new spark plug in, and there's no center stance, we don't have that option, so he's gonna run it up the street, leave it wide open, kill it after 45 seconds or so, roll it back in the shop, and then we'll check the plug. We're looking for the right color, which, if it's white, then it's lean. If it's black, it's rich. And we're looking for kind of like that book bag over there. Kind of like that.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's perfect. That book bag is what all tuners need.
If you're trying to tune, get the book bag. So yeah, we're gonna do that.
Hey.
Spark chop.
Plug chop.
Plug chop.
Just got back from the plug chop.
That's what it looks like?
It's pretty toasty. It's looking a little lean. It's leaner than it was when it was dirty. So we're gonna go with lean on that.
Upjet to 64.
You had a 60 in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stock cylinder, MO2 1515. Stock intake. So 60 seems a little small. I can smell it from here.
We were running a bit lean when I downjetted from the stock 68 on the 15 shot to 60. So I just upjetted to 64, which is the only option in between. I haven't tried it, but I think that it's as good as it gets. And now we're wiring up a tail light, and I'm trying to make it look pretty. It's a pain in the dick.
Dom, we'll break him of all those habits. Ugly bikes.
Days of Macy's Day Parade. The night of the living dead is on its way. With the credit report for duty call. It's a lifetime guarantee. Stuffed in a coffin, 10% more free. Red light special at the mausoleum.
pedal forward. There's definitely some teeth missing on something.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go inside and see what's wrong with it. Basically, there's a nut, cotter pin, take the pedal arm off. I'm gonna tip it on its side, open the clutch up, open the transmission up, see what's going on.
Yeah. I can taste it.
It's bad. Move it. We're gonna find out, maybe.
It's resting on the pedal and it's fucking everything
Yeah,
up.
I know. So you want to keep track of all this shit?
Look at all those shims that just fell on the ground.
Yeah, all these little shims. There's a bunch of them.
I think I see the problem.
Keep track of those. Alright, so we got in here. Clutch belt, both clutches look great, like they're fine. A couple little scars from some metal shavings, like those. But we're gonna have to go farther in. But these should not have play in and out. Like, you might be able to see it. There's like a little touch of play like this way. And that should not happen. So when you roll this forward, it's catching something's catching, it's not supposed to be catching, and it feels a little chunky. So we're gonna go in there and find out what that is. Because there's some metal shit down here that shouldn't be there.
Tasty.
Yeah. So pulling the gear cluster out, I noticed a slight issue. If you'll notice,
Oh, you gotta pull that out. There are no teeth left.
they're slightly boned. This might all be fucked, actually.
Oh, it should be okay.
Star power.
That is fucking straight up raw A3 power.
This bearing's fine. Oh, here's a piece. Here's a tooth. Look at this. Look at that.
Well,
There's a fucking tooth.
well, there should be like several more of those.
Yeah, there's more in there somewhere. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get a magnet for that. Alright, so I'm just dipping a magnet in here before I carb clean it out. That's what I found so far. That's just over on the bottom edge. I haven't even gotten there's a lot of shit in there. I gotta wipe this off.
It's Big Dad's.
Just kind of cruise around.
Oh,
There's a big, oh, look at these dads. I found this is the best way to clean a broken A3. Is just a magnet, get the big chunks out, and then like look at all that. That's good. Some good stuff. So this is what it's supposed to look like. This is what mine looks like. Now, ideally, I would just put this in to here and it would be fine. But unfortunately, this gear cluster is seized. So I have to take both of them apart and put this shaft thing
I like it when you say shaft.
into these gears. I mean, these gears are fine, but something is seized inside it. I don't know what it is. I'll find out when I take it apart. Because they're supposed to spin freely, and that one does not. So that's what I'm gonna do next. So we have a lot of A3 gear clusters laying around the shop. This is the one that was in here. This is the broken one, but it spins freely. Then we have this one, which is not broken, but it is broken because it doesn't spin. Then Matt Brand found another one that spins freely. It's nice and smooth.
Oh, Brian's
The
here.
bulbs went off, so we're gonna have to get the door here in a second. I get off. I just got to tighten this down, and hopefully everything should just, it feels nice, it should just mesh together. We cleaned all the metal shavings out, a lot of carb cleaner, and hopefully it'll start. Alright, I'm giving up on this because I think the pedal shaft is bent, and it starts, it runs, but something is real chunky in there, and I think I might have to swap the entire bottom end. Luckily I have one, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I think I'm just going to put Pirellis in my Magnum. Boy!
Alright guys, so there's a lot packed in this video because there's about 3 weeks between our last one. So you got to see myself and Jared tune up the raffle bike. Jared and I built a Minarelli, showed you how to do the clutch springs and the clutch engagement crap. Ryan showed you how to do plug chops while tuning a 1515 shot. Ryan taught you guys how to tune a VM20. That Chow runs, kind of. Elliot sweats. Matt's SR needs some more tuning, but you got to see him playing with that a little bit this week, how to install a circuit pipe. I think that's it. I don't know. I hope you had a good time. We had a ton of fun. We're disgusting, and it's hot, and mopeds are stupid.
And he's a proud pig dad.
Yeah, we love this place, and I hope you enjoyed the video.